And we are back. Welcome to my preview and prediction for the second semi-final of the Club World Cup. This will be my preview and prediction for Paris Saint-Germain taking on Real Madrid tomorrow. If you want to see my prediction for Fluminense against Chelsea taking place today, you can do so by clicking the link at the top of your screen right now. And a happy first day of the new season. Yes, it is July the 8th. But the season starts tonight with the first matches in Champions League qualifying. So, unbelievably, we're already at the brand new season. So before we get into today's video, don't forget to drop a like on this video and share it with a friend to get as many people involved in this channel as possible. Don't forget, if you are new around here, to subscribe with notification turned on. Firstly, so you don't miss out on my preview and prediction for the Club World Cup final taking place this weekend, but also so you're ready for the start of the brand new season. And speaking of the brand new season, if you want to gain additional perks on this channel, such as exclusive predictions for other major leagues and for today's previews, I'm not going to say previews, but for today's predictions for the Champions League opening games, you can do so by clicking the join button and becoming a member. All members will gain access to my thoughts on the Champions League matches taking place tonight over on the community page if you are a member. So click that join button to get involved with my thoughts for tonight's Champions League matches. As for today, though, this is the match that we're going to be talking about. It is, of course, Paris Saint-Germain taking on Real Madrid. Absolutely massive match, obviously being billed as the big Kylian Mbappe match. His first time playing against Paris Saint-Germain since leaving them, and what on earth has happened since then? Paris Saint-Germain get rid of their big superstar. Kylian Mbappe moves to Real Madrid to win the European glory that he could not secure as a Paris Saint-Germain player. And wouldn't you know it, the first season after he leaves, Paris Saint-Germain win the Champions League. Absolutely unbelievable, but Mbappe could have the last laugh if Real Madrid do beat Paris Saint-Germain tonight and go on to win the World Cup. Obviously, on paper, a bigger achievement than winning the European Cup. But obviously, I can let you guys debate that down in the comment section below. As for this match, though, it is a fascinating one. You've got two sides that are in very, very good form. Real Madrid, unbeaten throughout the entire tournament. They drew on match day 1 and have won every single game since, and looked better and better and better every single game. Paris Saint-Germain lost on match day 2, but have won every single other match. And not only that, the game that they lost on match day 2 was the only goal that they have conceded in the entire tournament. You just think about how these two sides got to this semi-final in their respective quarterfinals. Paris Saint-Germain were 1-0 up against Bayern Munich. They got 2 players sent off and then still scored again. That is how good this PSG side are. This is how defensively solid they are and how lethal they can be on the counter-attack. That against one of the best sides ever in world football in Bayern Munich, they can go down to 9 men and then still keep a clean sheet and still score at the other end. Absolutely unbelievable how they got to that position. But obviously there was the drama surrounding the potential penalty, which I do think that they got right. Speaking of penalties, it was a penalty that got Dean Huijsen sent off for Real Madrid in their game against Borussia Dortmund. And that one I'm a little bit annoyed about, because I did 2-0 to Real Madrid. And I was so happy with how that prediction went, because when the clock struck 90, it was 2-0 to Real Madrid. When the full-time whistle blew, it was 3-2, because that stoppage time period was absolute chaos. Great goal from Bayer, unbelievable goal from Mbappe, shocking defending from Huijsen to get himself sent off for the penalty to make it 3-2. And then that save from Courtois from Sabitzer, absolutely unbelievable to keep Real Madrid in this competition. So, what does that mean going into this game? Personally, it says to me that Paris Saint-Germain should be considered the favourites because they have had a better tournament overall with how well they've defended, how well they've scored goals, and Real Madrid have still looked a little bit dodgy at times. Obviously, the all-important team news is surrounding those suspensions, with Pacho and Lucas Hernandez both suspended for Paris Saint-Germain. Obvious choice is Lucas Beraldo comes into that centre-back position. However, it does leave them very defensively light. Should anyone pick up an injury over the course of the 90 minutes against Real Madrid, they are going to be struggling with both of those players out. And as I've mentioned, the one time PSG did make changes to their lineup in this competition is when they lost to Botafogo. So it does leave them a little bit vulnerable, removing Pacho from that back line. Obviously, Lucas Hernandez is normally a substitute, but Pacho, it could be a big loss to them because without that full defensive structure, that's when they do end up conceding. Obviously, as we've mentioned, Dean Huijsen is going to be missing for Real Madrid because of his ridiculous decision to pull back Guirassy in the box with literally no time left on the clock. I don't know why he did it. He literally could have let Guirassy score and the game still would have finished 3-2 to Real Madrid. But instead, he pulls him back, he gets himself sent off, and he is out of this semi-final. So both sides are going to be missing key defenders for this match. Obviously, there's still the big decision-making surrounding the two French stars. Will Ousmane Dembele finally get his start for PSG after recovering from his injury? Will Kylian Mbappe finally get his start for Real Madrid after recovering from his illness? And what does that leave for Gonzalo? Like, he has been so good, Gonzalo Garcia, up front. Who does Alonso take out to get Mbappe back in the team? Should he take out Vinicius Jr.? Or does he take the kid out to put Mbappe back in? Or does he just leave those two up front? We shall see, but it is going to be an absolutely fascinating game, this. I think it could go either way, but I do have to think that Paris Saint-Germain are going to be the favourites. I could talk about the head-to-head record, but ultimately, as we've said all tournament regarding Paris Saint-Germain, the head-to-head records are pretty irrelevant because they have beaten sides up and down this tournament that they'd already lost to in the Champions League earlier on this season. They've revolutionised themselves in January. They've been a completely different side since. So yes, even though Real Madrid have a far superior record over PSG over the last few seasons, it's irrelevant because they have not played against this Paris Saint-Germain. This is the best side in world football right now. They are obviously going into this match as favourites. And even though I look at that Real Madrid team under Alonso, unbeaten under Alonso, playing that 3-5-2, which served him so well at Bayer Leverkusen, I do think that this game is ultimately going to prove to be a step too far. I think it's going to be an unbelievable game. I think it's going to be full of drama. But I do think, I've said it throughout, I do think Paris Saint-Germain are going to be the favourites. I do think they're going to get the win. But I am going to give Real Madrid that goal because Paris Saint-Germain haven't got their full complement in defence. I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to PSG. Agree or disagree? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. We will, of course, be back for the prediction for the final later on this week. Who is it going to be? Will it be PSG? Will it be Real Madrid? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you very, very much for watching. As always, I'll see you very soon.